Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at TipRanks. This is a stock analysis platform that leans on professional stock analysts and uses their price targets to help you find the best stocks to buy in the market right now. It comes with a pretty wide range of stock idea generation tools and can be really helpful if you're looking for ideas for what to buy and add to a portfolio. So let's dive in and we'll help you decide if this platform is right for you. So to start out, let's take a look at an individual stock in TipRanks. We'll look at PayPal just because it comes up first here, and I'll show you kind of a little bit of what TipRanks has to offer in terms of stock analysis and information. So this is the main stock analysis page, and there's a lot going on here, but it's really helpful. So one of the first things I look at is actually not the price chart here, but this stock smart score. This is a score that TipRanks applies to every stock based on a combination of factors, including a stock's fundamentals, how analysts are rating the stock, whether insiders and institutions are buying the stock, as well as technical momentum. So this is a really nice sort of simplification to find stocks that are worth buying right now. Generally, a 9 is pretty good. TipRanks has a list of 10 rated stocks that we'll look at in just a little bit. So if we scroll down this page, we can see there's a fair bit of information, including some fundamentals, news, recording the most recent earnings call, and some interesting widgets, including one here. We can see PayPal's revenue breakdown by geography and type, including transaction revenues and other revenue here. So one of my favorite things here is the bulls say, bears say widget. This is a really cool way to find out just real quick what the bull case for a stock is and what the bear case against the stock is. So you can kind of get both the for and against of a stock just in this little box, and it gives you a lot more to follow up on if you want to do your own research. Another helpful thing, we'll dive into analyst ratings in a moment, but this widget on the right here shows analyst ratings over the next 12 months. We can see high, average, and low, as well as the upside for the average price target. So scrolling down a little bit more, we can see income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow, as well as information about options, who owns a stock, similar stock, and even traffic to, in this case, PayPal's website. So really useful information on this main page. And then we can dive into the analyst forecast. And this is where TipRanks really shines. So first, I'll show you at the top here. We can look at price targets from all analysts or only top analysts. Top analysts is only available to premium subscribers. I think this is great because TipRanks is actually tracking the performance of all the analysts that it uses and only including analysts who are right most of the time. So we can knock out analysts who just don't have great track record. So we can see at a glance here what the low, average, and high price forecasts are for PayPal over the next 12 months. We can see the total number of ratings, how many are buy, hold, and sell. And then we can dive into the actual analyst making price forecasts here. So we can look at the star ratings are the ratings of analysts themselves, so how well that they perform. Whether analysts are issuing buy, hold, or sell recommendations, and the potential upside or downside that they are forecasting here. So you can even see price targets that have been upgraded or downgraded, whether they've been reiterated. Really nice way to kind of dive into these price targets and get a little bit more information about what's behind those average ratings that you're seeing. Another thing I like is that if you scroll down here, we can actually look at recommendation trends over time. So this shows a month-by-month breakdown of how buy, sell, and hold recommendations have changed. So a really nice way to look at whether more analysts have been following a stock, whether the number of buy ratings has gone up or down. Gives you an idea of whether analysts are trending more bullish or more bearish on a stock. And then finally, we can look at financial forecasts. So for earnings and sales, this can give you a little bit more information about how a stock is likely to perform, both in the long term, but also specifically at its next earnings call. So TipRanks is mainly focused on timeframes of around a year. All of the price targets are 12-month price targets, but it does have this technical analysis panel. This can be a good way to get an idea if now is the best time to jump into a stock. So we can look at anything from 1 minute to 1 month timeframes here. And it mainly looks at a panel of technical analysis factors like MACD, RSI. It also looks at moving averages, and you can see whether these are indicating a strong buy or a strong sell. And the overall consensus is based on this whole combination of technical factors that TipRanks looks at. So we can also look at pivot point analysis and then dive into some of the specific technical indicators that TipRanks looks at down here and see whether each of them is a buy, neutral, or sell. So just kind of a way to dive into technical indicators. If you're interested in technical analysis, I would definitely recommend investing in a dedicated charting platform like TradingView or Thinkorswim. So that's really the bulk of what TipRanks gives you as far as looking at a stock, but there are a few other panels here I just want to highlight. We can look at earnings data over time, as well as an earnings history, earnings price related changes. So this is around earnings calls. We can look at stocks dividend. In this case, PayPal doesn't pay out a dividend. We can look at who owns a stock, so including insider trading activity and hedge fund trading activity, as well as stock shareholders, including institutional shareholders. And then finally, we can dive into an income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow in more detail. So if you want to do your own financial modeling, you can download this data and use it for that. So that's a rundown of what information TipRanks gives you about individual stocks. Now we can look at some of the ideas generation tools that this platform offers. So if we go to the ideas panel here, one of my favorite features is the top smart score stocks. So as you can see here, the top smart score stocks, these are stocks with a 10 rating from TipRanks. A portfolio based on these stocks has generally outperformed the market since 2016. So these are pretty good recommendations. They have a good track record at least. So here we can just run through this table and quickly see top smart score stocks. So stocks that have a 10 here, and we can filter by market cap, sector, or how long they've had that 10 rating. What I like is you can really easily export this to Excel for further analysis or to keep track and create your own lists. You can also customize the columns in here. So it's a really nice way to look at dividend yields, analyst consensus. You can even look at things like news sentiment or price targets. So a really nice way to synthesize all of the information available in TipRanks and really looking specifically at stocks that have that 10 smart score and could be good investments. Similarly, we can look at this list of top analyst stocks. So these are stocks that are going to have the highest upside potential based on analyst ratings. So these tend to be low cap stocks or penny stocks. So you can see there's a couple stocks here with prices under $5. They tend to have the most upside as the most room to run there. However, we can filter these by market cap. So if we only want to look at medium, large, and mega cap stocks, that's really easy to do. We can also filter this for strong buy ratings and then even filter by sector. And once again, we can download all of this to Excel. We can add other columns here if we want to look at things like PE ratio or that smart score rating. Really nice way to kind of filter this list and start getting ideas that fit your strategy. So just taking a look at this ideas panel like once more, we can look at top insider stocks, so stocks that insiders and institutions are buying. We can look at dividend stocks, as well as stocks that have the most visited websites. This can give you a good idea of sentiment around a company or whether sales are likely to increase or decrease over the next quarter. So if we want to dig in a little bit further, we can look at the TipRanks stock screener. This again does a really nice job of synthesizing all the information that TipRanks offers. So we can look at stocks by smart score, by the upside predicted by analysts with their 12-month price targets, with consensus ratings, fundamental factors like PE ratio and dividend yield. All that said, I will say this is not my favorite stock screener out there. It is a little bit limited in terms of the fundamental analysis factors that you can look at. So you're really limiting yourself to that smart score and those price targets. And then you're getting a little bit more information around that for filtering. But if you're looking for a really strong fundamental analysis screener, I'd really recommend something like Stock Rover or Seeking Alpha instead. So just to give you an idea here, there's some more filters in here. We can look at volume, 52-week trading range, price to sales ratio, not just dividend yield, but also payout ratio and payment dates. But as you can see, there's just not a ton of different filters here. One thing I will say is that you can actually customize this table pretty nicely. So in addition to the overview, you can look at essential TipRanks data. This is actually great because it shows you really just the data that's unique to TipRanks. You can also pull up columns that are related to earnings or price performance. You can also view all of your scan results as charts. The candlesticks are really nice, but I will say this doesn't feel as helpful for finding setups as the candlestick charts in, for example, FinViz, which has a really much more robust screener as well. So TipRanks does have a bunch of other tools here, including an ATF screener, an economic calendar, an earnings calendar, an IPO calendar. None of these feel super unique to me. It's nice that the platform includes them, but these are not going to be the reason that you're buying a TipRanks subscription. One thing that does lean on TipRanks' sort of unique approach to this is this top experts panel. So you can look at, for example, top analysts, top Wall Street analysts, top financial bloggers, top performing research firms. This gives you more information about what analysts and bloggers and research firms are having the best track record at predicting price targets. So this can be useful if you're interested in looking at a specific analyst, for example, a high-performing analyst, and seeing what stocks they recommend or cover. So this can be useful, but for the most part, I'm actually not looking at individual analysts to find stock ideas. I'm using that ideas tool and looking at top analyst stocks, looking at consensus metrics to find these best stocks. So this is a cool feature that TipRanks offers, but it's not really the most useful, I would say, for finding stocks. And then one more feature I want to show you is the ability to create portfolios in TipRanks. So this is not really a dedicated portfolio tool, but it does do an okay job. If you build a portfolio in here, you can see your total holdings, your average smart score across those holdings, and you can get information about analyst price targets, smart scores, consensus ratings. So it's a good way to monitor your portfolio and see if analyst ratings are changing over time and whether you have stocks that have a net downside as opposed to a net upside based on analyst price targets. It's a good way to sort of clean your portfolio over time. Okay, so how much does TipRanks cost? Well, you can get a premium plan for $30 a month or this ultimate plan for $50 a month. I would say that the premium plan covers everything that most investors are going to need, including all of the stock analysis features, all the investment ideas, information about individual analysts and their track records, as well as access to the stock screener and the ability to follow analysts and individual stocks. The real main benefit of the ultimate plan is the ability to export data to Excel. I also like that you get research firm rankings. Can be helpful if you're interested in following individual research firms and seeing what stocks that they're recommending. So TipRanks offers 30-day money-back guarantees, giving you a chance to try the platform out, but you do have to pay for these plans annually. So there's no month-to-month payments here. So overall, I would say that TipRanks is a pretty good platform, but it's hard to justify this over something like Seeking Alpha or Stockrover. Particularly for me, Seeking Alpha costs less money than a premium plan at TipRanks. You get a better screener, a stock ideas list. Seeking Alpha incorporates information about analyst price targets, but it's not fully based on that. There's also a lot more fundamental analysis there. And what I like is there's a lot more tools for you to dig into those bull and bear cases for a stock and really analyze whether it's right for your portfolio. So I like TipRanks. I think it's great. I think that for most investors, I would recommend Seeking Alpha or Stockrover over this platform.